Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Dzaka Musyaffa Hidayat, and in this occasion I'm gonna present to you guys my project, which is called Space Wars. But before we get into that, I'm going to declare a pledge in Indonesian language. Saya Dzaka Musyaffa Hidayat dengan NIM 2404913 mengerjakan evaluasi tugas masa depan dalam mata kuliah Desain dan Pemrograman Berorientasi Objek. Untuk keberkahannya, maka saya tidak melakukan kecurangan seperti yang telah dispesifikasikan. Amin. Right, so in this project, I'm making a game called Space Wars, which is basically a space team shooter game that the player must survive waves of aliens shooting at them while avoiding the bullets of it. And there's obstacles as well. And this game is built with Java. And here I'm just gonna run it. And there's 3 different ways you can run it with. For Windows, you have run.batch file and run.ps1 file, and today I'm just going to show you how to run it from the terminal itself. Let's just open the terminal and just paste the line like so, and here it immediately opened the menu. You can see the title, Space Wars, username, and the table for the scoreboard. And here we have 3 buttons, which is for playing. When you click it, you cannot play because there's no username input. Credits for crediting the assets that is being used inside of this game, and username. Let's just start playing. I'm just going to make a new username, test player 100. Let's just play, and you can see there's a little cooldown here, and the alien will shoot you immediately. You can hide behind objects when the ammo missed. Oops, I died. Let's just play again with the same username, and here the score from the last session saves, and you can see the enemy died when we shoot at them. And basically the controls for this game, arrow keys, and you can push around asteroids, and you can aim with your cursor with your mouse, and you can left click to shoot your bullets if you have some bullets on your reservation bullets. As you can see, it's just the asteroid being destroyed, and let's just die real quick. Game over, score 80, username testplayer 100. And I'm going to show you one more time what happens if we exit the game. Just press spacebar, and you will be directed to the menu straight up. And that's it for the game. I'm just going to press the quit button to exit the game. For this project, I'm using the MVP architecture, which is short for Model, View, and Presenter, which basically in this architecture it separates the game into 3 different parts: model for the data, presenter for communicating between the model and the view, and it also acts as a logic for the game. And for the view, this is for the user interface. Alright, so let's start from the model itself. This class represents a bullet in the game, handling its position, velocity, and collision detection. This is bullet class, and you can see here it's just properties and other constructor and many methods for the bullets. And here we have database connection. This class manages database connection to a MySQL database. So here it's a Java project, and we need to include the library here, which is called MySQL connector .jar file, and it will communicate between the database to the Java project. And here we have the get connection, and we have the error handling for when the database failed to connect or not. And under here we have enemy.java. This class represents an enemy in the game, handling its movement, shooting behavior, and that effects. And here we can see the properties, the attributes, and we can see the image loading over here. Fetch the assets from the assets folder, and here we can see the constructor and other methods being used for the enemy itself. And here next we have obstacle.java. Same as other class, this class represents an obstacle in the game, handling its movement, health, collision response, and visual effects. And here we have the attributes, the properties for the obstacle, the shake effect properties and rotation properties, and we have the load image, and here we have the constructor and other methods as well. So next we have the player.java. This class represents the player in the game, also handling its movement, ammo, mount, score, and shooting animations. Here we can see player properties, we can see the image loading for the player, and we can see the constructor and other methods and getters over here as well. And we can see next is player stats, and this represents the statistics for the player, including the username, level, missed bullets, and remaining bullets for the player. See, you can see the attributes here, the constructor and the getter for the statistics itself. Next we are going to the game logic and the menu logic, which is under the presenter folder. And now here, as you can see, this class represents handles the game logic and interactions between the model and the view itself. So there's just pure logic here, no UI or anything, and there's constants here, max enemies, max obstacles, and minimum obstacles in the game. And there's just variables, attributes over here. Down here we have many methods like start game, spawn an enemy methods, constructor as well on top, and spawn obstacles. This class also handles collision between objects, how many bullets there are, spawning, basically just pure game logic over here. And down here we can see there's like my SQL query going on. This is when if the player dies, and it instantly saves the progress to the table for the database. And we can see here many SQL stats being loaded to the game from the previous session, and other methods like so. And next we have the logic for the menu. This is for the handling logic for the presentation for the menu view, including loading and displaying user scores from the database. So this class fetch the data from the database that will be filled from the view here later on, which gets the username, the score, the missed bullets, and the remaining bullets left from the last session. And here, as you can see, there's a util folder. This is for the sound. This manages the sound effects for the game, including loading it and playing the sound for the sound effects and the music as well. The reason I separate it from other folder is because this is not the game logic itself. This is only for loading the sounds. And you can see here there's path for loading the sounds, and there's methods for playing the sounds, and like so. There's methods for setting the volume of the sound so it doesn't get too loud as well. And there's many methods here, including the loop for the play for the in-game and menu music as well. And next we have the view, which is basically user interface only. And you can see here this class represents the main game window where the gameplay occurs, handling user input and game elements. And we can see here this class is only for handling the user inputs and rendering the game elements. As you can see, the method here is just initializing the elements for the game and rendering it later on. And here, as you can see, I've made an interface that defines the contract for the game views, including methods to refresh the screen and close the game. And same as well for the menu. This interface also defines the contract for the main view, including the set table data, basically the table data for the scoreboard and the start of the game, and username getting and refreshing the data whenever there's a new data update as well. And here we have the main UI for the menu. There's no logic behind this, just pure UI, and like so. There's methods and others, and this is just the show credits method. And next we have the main.java. This class is just basically the class for launching the game application itself. So that's it for today. I'm sorry if there is any mistakes in my pronunciation or my presentation. Hope you guys hope you enjoy the presentation, and thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.